Welcome to Philanthropy in Focus, where we shine a light on the people and organizations making a difference in our communities. From executive leaders to frontline team members, each episode offers an inside look at the mission, challenges, and opportunities shaping the nonprofit sector today. Whether you're a donor, volunteer, or simply looking to connect with causes that matter, this series is designed to inform and inspire, reflecting Heritage's commitment to helping families align their wealth with purpose and impact. I'm your host, Carrie Miller, Director of Philanthropy at Heritage Wealth Advisors, and today we're honored to be joined by a very special and timely guest, Jamie Bosket, President and CEO at the Virginia Museum of History and Culture.
Thank you, Carrie. Thrilled to be here.
Well, we are so honored to have you in what I know is a very busy year for
Very
you,
busy.
since it is America is celebrating the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So before we get to this special semi-quincentennial
That's right. Good job.
milestone, will you share a little about the Virginia Museum of History and Culture and the role it plays in the Richmond community?
Happy to, Carrie. And it plays a role, significant role in the Richmond community, in our Commonwealth, in our nation. The Virginia Museum of History and Culture is the oldest museum in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We were founded in 1831. So in the spirit of the 250th, we're talking the 50th anniversary of the Siege of Yorktown and the end of our American Revolution. So we've been at this a long time, almost 2 centuries. And in that period of time, we have amassed one of America's great history collections, more than 9 million historical artifacts spanning 16,000 years of human history. It's an amazing resource. It is an American treasure.
Well, I was just there last weekend with my in-laws who live in Pennsylvania, and there's a lot of history in Pennsylvania as well.
Yes.
And they live right outside of Philadelphia, and they had never been to the museum, despite the fact that their son has lived here for 13 years and we're members. They were blown away, and now they want to come back. Like, can we go again the next time we're here? Because I had to pull them through because our little Will was with us too. So there's even stuff for kids there.
There is, indeed.
And he really likes the trolley, actually.
It is a hit.
So, yeah.
It is a hit.
So I think it's neat that you can do that. There's so many, like, all these different things, hands-on things. And there was even stuff I hadn't seen in the many times that I had been there, for the first time and stuff like that. And you've taken me into the vault and shown me. I mean, it's incredible.
There is something for everyone. I mean, it's a huge complex.
There really is.
Yeah.
But I know that you do more than just a museum. So let's go a little deeper. Every organization carries moments that speak to its true impact. Is there a program, milestone, or story that you feel especially proud to highlight?
Yeah, I think I would highlight this, well, let's call it a modern renaissance for Virginia's oldest museum. We're proud of the history and the longevity in this incredible collection I've just mentioned, but when you can use it for good and reach more people, that's the magic. And for us, in this past 10 years, the museum has been on a journey to open our doors up to be a more vibrant, welcoming place, and it has paid off. So going in, even more particular, I'll say that during the pandemic, one of the things that happened that was sort of an opportunity we didn't expect was that when we were otherwise disrupted and closed, we were able to speed up big dreams for the museum, to renovate, to make the place all of what you just mentioned, that it's a family-friendly, exciting place with something for everyone. So we've come out of this in this incredible moment of vibrance, and our visitation has more than tripled.
Wow.
I don't know of any other major museum in the United States that can say the same. So we feel really proud of this moment that we are taking one of the most compelling historical narratives in the United States, which is the story of Virginia, and bringing it to life in a really powerful way.
It is. I mean, it's really special what you've done, and I mean, you're appropriately humble about all of it. But I know that you had a lot to do with it from when you came here and had to navigate a name change that I thought was really. That was right about when I moved to Virginia too, and it was sweet how much it mattered to for the local community of like, oh my goodness, but I'll keep calling it this. They may have a new name, but it's always going to be this. Okay, but anyway, it's just you know, you've had to navigate from that, like, and it's been so much better. And it's really, it's not even that it's better, it's that you've got more of the collections out there and they're
Yeah.
interactive in different ways. And I love even the like intro video is great, kind of a history of Virginia.
Well, I think that one thing we tend to forget is that history's personal.
Yeah.
It is, and that's okay. And so we as an institution that are keepers of it and empowered to share it, we just have to take a really great level of care and responsibility in doing so.
It's spoken like a founding father. So, because it's complicated. The history of the country is very complicated. And
here we are at 250 years, right? So
right.
It's a moment for us.
And it's happening now. I mean, we were walking through, and like some of the artifacts in there and stuff. And it was like, oh, and we have the first female governor now. So like, what are you going to get from Inauguration Day for the museum and things like that? Because I know right where it should be in there. But there's so many different things. And I love how you've incorporated even like Stella's Market in there and things now. So there's modern stuff in there too. So it's well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, for those who feel inspired, what are some meaningful ways people can get involved through volunteering, giving, or even just spreading the word?
It's a great question, and you've sort of referenced a couple of things. One, don't forget that keepers of collections, of comprehensive collections like this, our work will never be done. And it is made possible through the masses. So thinking about important archives, family documents, materials that could someday find a forever home at the VMHC, that's something to think about. And of the 9+ million items we have, the vast majority, like 95% plus, are things that have been donated over 2 centuries to build this repository. So that's important. 2, volunteering, get involved, participate, attend, just be involved with the institution. And the third, and certainly not the least of those, I'd be remiss if I didn't note, philanthropic support. Most people don't realize that while we're the oldest museum in Virginia, older than our wonderful state art museum and our wonderful state science museum combined, we're not a state agency like those institutions. So we don't receive any government operating support. None.
Isn't it true that you've never received any
no operating
either?
support?
I've heard people say that. They're very proud.
Well, it's allowed us in some ways to be this sort of nimble, vibrant organization.
Yeah.
I think that we could have pulled off this reimagination that we just talked about in the timing that we did if we had other, larger players involved. Probably not. But because of strategic, really thoughtful philanthropy, this place is like riding on jet fuel. So that's a really important part, is that we can only survive if people make the choice to support us.
Well, and Virginia has this special place in history that like you kind of have to stay independent, right? Like,
Yeah.
You can't align only with the state or the federal. Like the federal government was born here,
Yeah.
it's just complicated.
And
John Marshall will be very proud of you. Jamie.
Yes, our first president, John Marshall. And I'll note that the museum is older than almost all functions of state government. So there you go.
So, okay. Well, as mentioned earlier, I know that we're in the midst of our nation's 250th anniversary. So what role has the History Museum played in marking this special year?
A huge role, and we should. Virginia should lead in this space, and we're proud to have played a role in that. Almost 10 years ago, the VMHC started convening museum leaders across the Commonwealth to meet this moment and think about what we're experiencing right now would feel like and how we'd play a role. And I want to highlight one historical note that I really just meant the world to us, and that was our role in helping guide the national conversation for the 250th. So in 2023, in March of 2023, it was the 250th anniversary of something no one has probably ever heard of, Virginia's Committee of Correspondence. And it was when Jefferson and others in Colonial Williamsburg, they started writing to others, the other colonies, and created the first real national dialogue outside of the royal system because they could see that things were not going well. And so they needed that connection. So on that 250th anniversary of this national dialogue moment, we decided to do the same. And so in partnership with Colonial Williamsburg, the VMHC and CW put out an invitation to all the other states to send a delegation from their history museum, from their 250th Planning Commission, to come together and rally around an idea of how we could meet this moment together. It was so popular, we had more than 30 states send a delegation to Williamsburg that year. We did it again the next 2 years. And this last year in 2025 that we did it, we had almost the whole country represented in some meaningful way. So we have helped shape the conversation in Virginia, and the events and commemorative moments that we've produced in the lead up have been powerful. But I think when the history is written for this moment, there'll also be a great note for the VMHC for having shaped the national conversation in some really thoughtful way.
That's great and feels very Virginia.
Appropriate. Yes.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that story. So the Virginia Museum of History and Culture has produced some major commemorative events this year in the first half of the year. And now here we are in July. So in what ways will your efforts be lasting?
They will be lasting, and that's really important. And you're right. Part of our effort for the 250th was about the events that have been produced and the activities to bring community together, and I think that's all worked beautifully. But I want people 50 years from now or 100 years from now to look back and know that we did something that mattered. Mm-hmm. And so for us, there are really two core elements of the legacy that we aspire to build in the years ahead. One is an investment, the largest investment in our history, in civics education. Mm-hmm. It is desperately needed. Right now, only a third of American citizens born here could pass the U.S. citizenship test. Less than a half of young adults in a recent survey thought that democracy was the best form of government for the United States. These are startling things, but they're things that we can shape and we can play an important, impactful role in. So for us, in Virginia, thankfully, our state does require civics education in the middle grades, which is a great start. Mm-hmm. But not enough is done to provide the tools and resources for students and teachers to be successful, whether they're in Arlington or Abington. Mm-hmm. And so the VMHC is making a major multi-million-dollar lasting investment to create two things. One, the first comprehensive, ungated, entirely free, year-long curriculum for civics education that is not political, it is not biased, it is meeting the standards of learning and doing the great work that needs to be done. The second thing is uniting the space, uniting the various well-meaning, in some cases, long-tenured civics organizations. And what I mean by that is that there are a handful of small K-12 focused independent nonprofits that have been doing really thoughtful work for many years. They've always struggled with scope and scale. And so as this two-part strategy is building the first comprehensive curriculum, but also bring all of these organizations together and provide them the resources to maximize the impact. Nice. So just 2 years ago in 2023, well, just over 2 years ago now, the John Marshall Center for Constitutional History and Civics became an official part of the VMHC. Since then, the Rule of Law Project from Roanoke College has joined suit. Nice. Virginia Civics from Charlottesville has joined suit. And we are now, through these mergers, which is such a rare thing to happen in the nonprofit space, these strategic, thoughtful mergers, we're the largest civics organization in Virginia focused specifically on K-12 and Virginia students.
That's great.
So that's one. And one more I want to mention, because this is also near and dear to my heart. The bicentennial in 1976 was the largest investment in history infrastructure in American history. A third of the more than 21,000 history museums that exist in the United States today were founded proximate to the bicentennial.
Interesting.
So 50 years later, now that here we are in 2026, we don't need more. I think we need better. We need more sustainable. We need more connected. We need more empowered history museums. And I'm particularly focused on what is so important are our local and regional history museums. Virginia has one of the highest per capita number of these museums. There's like 400 of them in Virginia, but there's no connected tissue.
Yeah.
So one of our other legacy projects for the 250th, and the way we hope this will be lasting, is we have just established the Virginia History Affiliates Program with our 25 inaugural affiliates with 5 local regional museums from the 5 regions of Virginia.
Nice.
And I hope that by this time next year in 2027, we've got twice as many, and we build from there. And this vision is that coming out of the 250th, we'll have the most sort of organized, connected network of these wonderful historical assets on Main Street in communities all across the Commonwealth.
That's great. I love that. We picked up a passport when we were at the museum last week too, so we're getting Will his stamps.
Wonderful. We have only a few more months to get that done. So
I know we're going to be busy, but there's a lot to do.
there is.
So that's really great, and I really appreciate you sharing all the things that, you know, it's not just a history museum. There's also a research and library center there too, and it's, you know, I think a lot of people think about history museums as kind of places that you, like, your grandparents go or something, and they just have like dust on everything. But I think there's so many interactive pieces of it, and there's, you know, even I love the different like regions of Virginia, and you've got it's like, you know, there's the historical things and then more modern things, which are also history in the making. So, because Virginia's also been a huge, you know, industrial and business hub too for companies creating out of here, and I know that you want to do even more in that way too. So, I just thank you for kind of shining a light and sharing with our listeners how it's more than just a building on Arthur Ashe Boulevard.
Absolutely. Thank you, Carrie.
So, well, thanks for joining us and sharing more. And for those who want to learn more or get involved, we've included links in the show notes. And I'm Carrie Miller, and this has been Philanthropy in Focus. See you next time.